Confirmation. Excuse me, y'all. What's good? This is Star with the Star Blooms. Thank you, Spirit. My apologies, y'all. This is Star with the Star Blooms. Connections forged don't have to be forced. Okay? No forcing. Okay? Uh, this even goes back to my dream. Can I share that, y'all? There's a rate in my dream, right? And I'd already gotten clarity. There's a rate in my dream where there was this mature woman, right? Who had basically been like the co-conspirator of these people, basically, who were being sent to take something from me. All right. And keep me from basically ascertaining a certain level within myself. That was my own, it's mine. It's my awakening. It's my spiritual inheritance. It's mine, okay? Because I worked for it. And in the dream, there's this rate of like capturing octopus, and it was a lot of stuff, y'all. But a part of the dream was basically me being in the room without actually being in the room. That whole like the walls can talk thing. And what I basically perceived her saying is so crazy that it says mature woman, but it doesn't matter that it's a mature woman. It's just like the context and the character. But I was basically looking at the energy as oh crazy. And the bottom of the deck says karma. Anyways, anywho, all right. There was this. It was so. It says mature woman, right? But it wasn't. She wasn't being mature. It was very childish. It was basically this rate of because she was able to get this group of people to basically co-inspire with her to be her co-defendants. Okay, fall guys. All right. She basically had this idea within herself that you believe yourself to be loved because she recognized source within me. Yet I have people who love me. These people willing to fight for me. These people willing to go against you for me. They not asking me no questions, even though I provide them with lies. They not trying to fall for what you telling them, even though what you saying is the truth. You know, it's almost like the walls is talking. It's that ugly energy of like the mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all energy, like the stepmother energy. But she won't, the stepmother. And yeah, spirit. And that was like kind of what I was basically processing. It was at 4:44 when I got this. It says connections forged don't have to be forced. And what I was basically recognizing that things subtly grow as long as you allow them to take their time. And the more you recognize how things have woven with each other and how they've intertwined with each other, there's so much beauty in that space because it's an agreement. Okay, 333. Thank you, Spirit. It's an agreement upon energies in the connection to basically continue to be this kind of ping pong thing, you know? Hey, we're both here. I support you. You support me. Hey, I like what you're doing. I like what you're doing. You know, it's this thing. However, there is this presence lately where there's this desire to show up in you're gonna do this because I said so. You know, oh, you don't want to forgive, or it's not even forgive. It's like you don't want to give access because of what I done. People are aware because they're in a rate of receiving their karma that they basically have to sit in whatever choices that they've been choosing and they're deciding. However, because you've been in your being, right? You're not really at a rate of deciding. You've cultivated a space where you get to basically be in it. All right. Your environment is coherent to you. And that was the thing that I was basically speaking with Spirit about right before. And I started to have confirmation of it's like, being single and going through this journey of withholding, you know, by allowing your energy to be your own, by healing yourself and not giving your healing energy just to any, oh, you know, Tom, you know, and Harry, all right? by not forcing yourself to show up for people who rather you basically fall off due to the rate of them wanting to get behind and champion for those people who they didn't question, because they decided things about you without having the proof yet. Because spirit has removed and lifted the veil, they're in this rate of regret, having to see themselves through the ending of what they had originally perceived, because they trusted somebody that they shouldn't have trusted. Connections don't have to be forced, y'all. They forged through time, through experience, through getting to know people. You get what I'm saying? At an immature rate, sometimes we come into situations where we want to love people wholly, but we don't know them. All right. So we might want to give them access. It's to be kind of desperate, because you might be at a space or a situation to where your nervous system is screaming for something different, but you don't know how to regulate in that space. So you might want to constantly be codependent on energies that aren't necessarily dependable. All right. Allowing yourself to constantly meet certain rates of abuse because you aren't at a rate to where you could recognize and actually ascertain the bliss within your faith, within how you're perceiving, even in your expectations, through your awakenings, or through your rate of actually retrieving awareness, because you haven't gone into space where you get to be boss in the decisions that you've made. This is some of the things that we learn how to start to work with, but you don't have to force it because they are forced. Time. It takes time, even if you are outside of the parameters of time. It does. Confirmation. Thank you, Spirit. Excuse me, y'all. It takes time. Do not allow people to come into your space trying to force connections with you. Don't allow people to come in wanting you to basically be 100% dependent on them. That's selfish, y'all. That's extremely selfish. It's selfish. You have so much in you. All right. And a lot of the times, the more you connect with soul, the more you recognize you're actually meant to experience. And it's through experience that you gain the wisdom that allows you to be at the rate to where you could discern for yourself. So when you make a decision, regardless of whoever comes into opposition of a choice or decision that you've made, you could be holding it. You could be at a rate of true bliss, because you're not sitting back waiting for things to be cultivated through other people deciding how you discern is right or wrong. A lot of the times lately, I recognize how people are wanting to basically attack those who are basically finding themselves single, moving towards rates of success by loving themselves, by pouring into themselves, by saying, I previously said this, but I changed my mind. You know, people want you to basically continue to choose the thing that went against you, when that is not actually a representation of gaining wisdom through experience. That sometimes is self-deprecating and self-sabotaging. And it's also forced, y'all. Connections don't have to be forced, okay? Connections are forged. Let them be forged for you. Let them grow beautifully for you. You know, this is not that weird energy that a lot of people are in now because they decided that they're intimidated because you do know, all right, where they want to sit back and constantly watch and watch and watch and watch and watch. No, these be the people who have the boldness. Hey, you know, I like to be your friend. People who have the boldness to basically be present within your presence, to get to know you, versus wanting to sit on the outside parameter and just watch and decide whether or not, you know, 10 years down the line after they've no. It's a lot of weirdness, but it's like, allow yourself to be at a rate to where you're in cultivated spaces innately for you. Okay. They are beautiful. Connections that are forged are beautiful. They have a proper foundation. They are very, very, you know, agreeable with the environments that you're moving into. Things that are forced, they usually fall very fast, because towers come with things that don't last. And a lot of the times, if you holding on to things that you know that aren't meant for you, a lot of the times you'll be swept up in the destruction of something that was coming to destroy you. All right. So be mindful of things coming into your environment, wanting you to put your guard down. Trust. Trust. you know. Don't do that, y'all. Don't be worried about people who have groups of people who are in representation of their lie. It don't matter to you, okay? You be with your bliss. You be in your faith. You recognize what you trusted, which is yourself and the Most High, and continue to move forward because you're doing a great job.